The Minishark was once the best gun in Terraria, occupying the role of that minigun within the newly released game. Firing at a sustained fire rate of 450 to 514 rounds per minute is by far the fastest gun in pre-hard mode, and one of the coolest as well. Partly due to this, the Minishark has become one of the most well-known guns in the game, even earning its own achievement and Steam trading card. It's a very popular and liked weapon as well, with most Terraria players having used it in their first playthrough. Unlike some other weapons though, the advancement and development of the game hasn't really been that kind to the Minishark. Aside from an ammo conservation buff in 1.0.6, the Minishark has remained unchanged for over 11 years. Meanwhile, the musket, its prerequisite and main competitor, has received steady and continuous buffs over its entire lifetime, meaning that today the Minishark's supremacy over pre-hard mode isn't so certain. I'm actually making this video because I placed the Minishark as a mediocre weapon in my mediocre weapons video. Some of you objected, stating that it is actually better than average. But, is it really? Well, that's what this video is about, so let's look into that. Everyone should be aware that the Minishark's main flaw is its low per hit damage, leaving it very weak to the flat damage decreases of defense. So, logically, let's plot the theoretical damage per second of the Minishark, musket, and the Undertaker over defense to take a further look. Using this, we can determine the obvious. The Minishark's initial damage vastly surpasses that of the musket, but falls sharply once defense is applied. The Minishark falls below the musket in damage at 8 defense, while it takes 9 defense to fall below that of the Undertaker. These values are, of course, increased by 5 if you use armor penetration, such as the Sharktooth necklace, 10 if you use both necklaces. This grants a significant boost to the Minishark, but requires 1 or 2 accessory slots that are rather scarce in pre-hard mode, especially if you aren't playing Master Mode. So what does this mean? For enemies with less than 8 or 9 defense, the Minishark is theoretically better. Most regular enemies in the game have close to or more than this amount of defense though. Just as an example, underground skeletons have anywhere from 6 to 12 defense, hornets have anywhere from 4 to 20 defense with most variants being the double digits, all antlion variants have 6 defense or more, and Eater of Souls / Chimeras have anywhere from 6 to 9 defense depending on size. While not every pre-hard mode enemy has enough defense to make the Minishark worse, it is mostly enough to largely reduce its lead over the musket and Undertaker. As for bosses, all pre-hard mode bosses, with the exception of the Eater of Worlds and Wallflesh's Eye, have 8 defense or more, so it's not exactly excelling in that department either. And even for these two exceptions, if you're using a Minishark or even musket for these two boss fights, you're doing it wrong. For Eater of Worlds, a piercing weapon such as a bow with Jester's arrows, spiky balls, or Molotov cocktail would fare better than a non-piercing bullet 99% of the time. And for Wall of Flesh, the Phoenix Blaster, Molten Fear, and Hellwing Bow are much better options. Why are you using a pre-boss weapon in Wall of Flesh even? Back on topic though. What we've determined here is that the Minishark doesn't excel damage-wise and that it's equal or worse in most situations. On top of having mediocre damage though, it also has a slew of other disadvantages. It consumes much more ammunition than the musket or Undertaker. Its bullets travel around 18% slower than that of the muskets by default, meaning hitting far enemies is more difficult. It's much more inaccurate in terms of spread. It's much more expensive to reforge, costing 11 gold 66 silver instead of 2 gold 50 silver to reforge at base price, literally 4.7 times more expensive. Even if you do get the musket's 2 best reforges, Demonic or Deadly, they'll both be less potent than the Unreal reforge available on the musket or Undertaker, widening the gap even more. So it doesn't excel damage-wise and it has some other baggage with it. Huh. Due to stuff like this, I've never really bothered farming 35 gold plus reforge cost for the Minishark in any of my recent playthroughs. I mean, you basically have to get the musket to get the Minishark anyway, so why go the extra mile for something that isn't going to be significantly better? But I don't think the Minishark is bad. Unlike actual bad weapons, it will get the job done. It's precisely the type of weapon I would put in this video. It's mediocre, and that's what it is, at least to me. Feel free to determine by yourself though. I'm but a random child on the internet talking about a sandbox game. It isn't my job to dictate to you on how you should play this game. If you disagree with me, cool. If you just like the gun's functionality and design, cool as well. Use whatever fun you want. But if you made it this far, at least you've heard my 2 cents. Hello, if you're part of the 80% of my audience who hasn't subscribed, I ask you to subscribe. Here's a similar hot take of mine about drills. Either way though, thank you for watching, and good day and goodbye.